Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Antonia. I'm going into my third year of medical school in the UK and I make videos about medicine and anything else that really comes to mind, but mainly medicine. So my first video on my channel was called 5 Mistakes I Made in my first year of medical school. Basically just wanted to reflect on the year a bit and give some advice that I wish I'd had before I started my first year. So obviously I finished my second year of medical school, and as much as I tried to avoid making mistakes, I still found myself making some mistakes that did have an impact on my time in second year. So I thought that I would just do the same video but for second year instead of first year. So yeah, these are my 5 mistakes that I made in my second year of medical school. My first mistake that I made was not doing enough work between my first and second year of medical school. So in the summer between my first and second year of medical school, I went to Paris, went to the On the Run 2 tour. I got a job part-time just to get some money for second year and spent time with family, went back to uni to help out with clearing, and then started uni. I did actually do some work in the holidays between first and second year, but if I just put in a bit more effort in that holiday, I do think that second year would have been a bit easier for me. It's not to do loads and loads and loads of work. The way I've been doing it in the lead up to third year is just do like an hour a day of just focused revision to make sure that I'm kind of up to speed with everything, because it wouldn't be that I wouldn't know anything in second year, like when we got to certain topics. It would just be that I'd have small holes here and there, and I could have helped myself out a lot if I'd just done some work. So yeah, I would definitely suggest maybe having a bit of a structure a couple of weeks before you get back into second year. Maybe just do some work a day just to make sure that you're up to date with everything and everything's fresh in your mind. But still relax as well. I think it's really important to relax over your holidays because you really need it. My second mistake I made in the second year of med school was not talking about how I was feeling to the right people. I think this is a really important one because uni students in general, but especially medical students, I do think that there is this tendency to kind of sink into feeling lonely, feeling alone, and feeling sad, and sometimes we don't know where to go for help, or we don't necessarily want to seek out help. This year has been a really interesting year for me because at the end of 2018 my family moved from the UK to Canada, and I'm so happy that they moved because my sisters and my parents love it out here. I love out here, but I think I didn't want to let myself think about how much I missed them, and I did get very, very strong bouts of homesickness. I'm a bit of a homebody anyway, but I definitely had days that I would just miss my family a lot, and instead of actually talking about how I was feeling for a long time, I would just kind of make jokes about it, allow other people to make jokes about it, and just try and bury the feelings. This plus uni stress and other things that happened throughout the year just kind of piled on me to the point that I got to about March or April and I just felt really, really sad, and I didn't know how to put my finger on it because I hadn't actually sat down and thought about how I was feeling for a long time. And when I did, I spoke to my parents, I spoke to a couple of my good friends at uni, and it did make me feel a lot better. But it was the actually accepting that I wasn't feeling too great first that it took me a long time to do. So I think that that's really important. Just stay on top of your well-being at university. If you're feeling not great, go to talk to friends, family, or if you need to talk to like a trained professional, there are counselling services within all universities and even departments at universities. So just talk to someone, because if you're not in a good headspace, you can't revise, you can't learn anyway, and you put yourself at risk of bigger things. So yeah, definitely keep on top of your mental health at university. The third thing on my list was not having the right people around me. Actually, I'll rephrase that, keeping the wrong people around me. So at the end of first year, like beginning of second year, I remember having a bit of a think and thinking about all the lovely people I'd met at med school, and just thinking to myself that some people, on reflection, just didn't make me feel necessarily happy or good about myself when I spent time with them. There were some people who did things that I didn't necessarily personally agree with, and obviously everyone's entitled to their own personality, their own beliefs, but I just remember that in first year I was verging on kind of not feeling great around people, and then throughout second year there were certain friends I had that just made me feel a bit uncomfortable, made me not feel great about myself. As much as it's important to have a good wealth of friends and, you know, have friends that are different in personalities, beliefs, your mental health comes first. So if you find yourself with people that after they go away from you, you feel happier, or when you spend time with them you don't quite feel right, then I think it's actually really important to kind of cut them off. It doesn't have to be drastic. You can just like distance yourself from them, start spending less time with them. But I honestly think it's so important for your own well-being, because again, if your well-being isn't in the right place, then you can't revise, you can't study correctly, and you'll also spend a lot of your time in med school just not feeling that happy and kind of just wasting time with people that don't deserve your energy. So I definitely think that if it's not a good friendship or relationship for you to be in, just cut it off. And I'm saying this, I'm actually not the best at this. There are still some friendships that I definitely need to evaluate and kind of assess whether they're good for me personally. So yeah, that's something I'm going to have to do in third year as well, but that is something that took up more time than it needed to in second year for me. So the fourth thing kind of links to the video I posted last year. If you guys haven't watched that video, I'll link it up here. But basically in that video I spoke about the fact that medicine is one of these courses where it's very easy to fall into a trap where you're just friends with medics, and nothing wrong with that, but for me I just wanted to have like a bit more of a range of people I was friends with. And this year I've had the opportunity to do quite a lot of cool things. I was a student ambassador, or I still currently am a student ambassador for my university, and I've met loads of lovely people, both medics and non-medics, through that. My friends and I set up a medic society, so I've got to meet new people through there as well. And I've started going to medics netball regularly, which meant that I got to, you know, make new friendships there. But I still find myself looking back at second year and just thinking that I don't have enough non-medic friends, and partly because I don't think I do enough outside of medicine. So my fourth thing on my list was still definitely not joining enough non-medic societies. I've actually resorted to writing a list of societies, clubs and sports teams I want to try out for, or at least have a bit of a try of in third year, because I am determined to actually do things outside of medicine properly. And that's one of the things I do love about doing YouTube as well, because it means that I can just sit here and talk and unwind and not have to be thinking about medicine 24/7. And the fifth and final mistake I made in my second year of medical school is definitely not having enough confidence and like faith in my ability. This is not me saying that I'm the smartest medic in my med school or anything. I'm definitely not. But saying that, I'm also not incompetent. There's a reason I'm at med school, and I think it's really easy for people to fall into this trap where they just second guess themselves and they don't believe that they are supposed to be where they're at. I feel like medics especially suffer from imposter syndrome, just feeling like they don't deserve to be a medic, they don't deserve to be where they're at. And I definitely had more feelings like that this year than I did in my first year, and it did lead to me doubting myself a lot, which was quite frustrating. I think it was when I actually got my exam results back from our written exams and from our practical exams, our OSCEs, that I realised that when I had confidence in myself and I actually didn't second guess myself, I would get more marks, or I would get things right. And the stations and questions where I thought, and I remember thinking to myself like, oh, I'm going to answer this wrong, so I better just put this answer or whatever. Those are the questions I slipped up on. So it wasn't that I actually didn't know those things, it's that I talked myself out of the right answer, or in the OSCE especially, I didn't present myself with enough confidence in my answer. Looking back on it, it's annoying because you're almost robbing yourself of the marks that you deserve, but it's a big learning point for me, and definitely something that I shouldn't have done as much in second year. I think if you have a deficit in your knowledge and you know that you do, go and revise it, go and learn it and fill that deficit. But if you actually do know it, go with your gut, because most of the time it will actually be correct. Third year at my medical school is the first year that we're predominantly in placement, so I think I'll only have a couple of weeks of lectures per semester, and that means obviously I'm spending my time in hospital or in GP. And as we go up the ranks of medical school, doctors and other healthcare professionals can ask us as medical students to do some procedures. We can take bloods, we can put in catheters, we can put in cannulas, etc. And if I'm not confident in my own ability, the patients that I'm seeing are not going to be confident in me either, and it's going to put them on edge, it's going to put me on edge, and it's not going to be great. Obviously, if I'm not competent to do something, that's completely different. But while I'm competent in a skill, I should also have the confidence to actually do that. And that's a major key that I think would have really helped me in second year and should really help you guys in no matter what year of medicine you are, no matter what course you're at even. Just a bit of confidence goes a long way. Those are my 5 mistakes that I made in my second year of medical school. I hope this has been interesting. I know it's a bit of a rambly video because I know myself, I know that I'm going to be rambling a lot, but if you enjoyed it, please give this video a thumbs up. Feel free to subscribe to my channel and leave any video requests that you have in the comment section below. And yeah, I'll see you guys later.